No, can't hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get ready to start once everybody's ready in the room, in the library.
We are ready in the room.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get our meeting started then. My name is Jamil Massey, and I'm the president of our Southpark Toastmaster Club. Hope you all had a great weekend and are off and running to this particular week. And I wanted to go ahead and let you know a couple quick updates. I guess these would be more on the request side of things than updates. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't, but we have a speech contest that is coming up. Our speech contest is going to be on Monday, next Monday. Man, that's right around the corner. Next Monday, March 30th. It is International Speech Contest season. It's also speech evaluation season and table topics speech season. It's contest season. Our club contest is going to be next Monday. And if you are interested in participating and competing in either the table topics portion of the contest, the evaluation portion of the contest, those are the two contests where there's no qualifiers. You don't have to have completed level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You can just jump right in and compete. If you are interested in doing that, just feel free to let myself know or any one of the officers. If you're there in person, maybe you want to grab Debbie or Carla. I believe Carla's in the room too, possibly. Grab them, say, hey, I want to compete. So in addition to that, we also have a few roles that are open for judges. In a speech contest, you have to have at least 5 judges. That way, you know, y'all can't be cheating and stuff. Okay. But if you're interested in being a judge, if you also let us know that too, we also have opportunities to be ballot counters, timers, and don't feel like if you've never done it before, like you just have to figure it out. We're here to assist and help you in this particular role. So with that being said, if you're interested in competing in or volunteering in any one of those roles, please let us know. Okay. That's all the preliminary announcements that I have for today, and I'm going to turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day, a very familiar face. You've seen him a lot of times. We're always happy to see him. Let me turn it over to David Jones. Take it away, David.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everybody. Before I get started, I just want to announce that also for the officers, the area contest that you all will be competing again and will be Thursday, February 16th at 6:30, and that will be on Zoom only. The area and division contests are only on Zoom. We're not going to do hybrid because judges and certain people can't be in the room and it just got complicated. So those two are going to be strictly on Zoom. So that is area contest 216, Thursday at 6:30. Also, if you are a member of this club, you're also a member of Queen City, your sister club. We meet Tuesday nights tomorrow night at 6:30, and we have a poet coming tomorrow as a guest speaker. So if you want to come and listen about poetry and also how to interweave our speeches with poets. Poets emphasize words and emphasize phrases, and we don't tend to do that a lot in public speaking. And see if we can't learn how to do that. So tomorrow night we have a guest speaker. If you come in person at the Vine, we have 25 books, signed books by her. She has a couple books out. She's going to be giving out books. Right, so today my theme has been why we dislike Mondays. And I have a few reasons why we dislike Mondays. And if you come up here or you speak, if you can give one of your Monday stories. But one of the reasons, and it's Guinness of World Records tweeted that they officially gave Monday the record of the worst day of the week. So it must be official if Guinness says it's the worst of all. But we hate Mondays becomes a thing. We all say, oh, it's Monday. It just becomes our thing, even if we don't hate Mondays. I don't hate Mondays. I love Mondays because it's the first day of the week. And if you love your job, it's good. And that goes to another reason that Mondays are tough, because the most heart attacks happen on a Monday, specifically Monday morning, because people go to work and they have a heart attack. I have a personal story. My grandfather on my mother's side, he went to work one Monday morning at about 8:30. He dropped dead of a heart attack. And I know I shouldn't be laughing, but if you hate your job that much to go and die, you should probably change your job. And then I think about his boss, like this is when I was a teenager. Think about his boss. His boss must have had that in his head for a while. This guy hated his job so much that he came to work and died. So that's another reason we do not like Mondays, because we don't like our job, we don't like our coworkers. Another reason is it follows 2 days of freedom and fun. There's a lot of reasons not to like Mondays, and if you want to share your stories, you go. But I'm going to start with our inspirational speaker who's doing double duty today. She's going to start with her inspiration is Toastmaster Carla.
Thank you very much.
With a cool shade.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody. See, it's Monday and I'm off on the days. And I'm wearing my cool shades because I just had my eyes dilated because I took cataract surgery. So, and I'm doing it on a Monday when I have it. So, I'm not doing that. So, you asked about what do we think about Monday. When I used to work, I worked a Monday through Friday job. A lot of times I worked on the weekends too, but I always did feel like, oh my God, it's Monday. I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to work. Not that I didn't always like my work, but I just didn't want to do that. Now that I'm not working, I don't even know what day of the week it is. So I sort of think of that quote by Shakespeare, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Monday only gets that designation because it's the first day of my work week. That's where it came from. Now that I don't work outside the home, or it's only volunteer work, I can barely tell what I'm doing on any given day. So that would be my experience about Mondays. I've evolved, Mondays and I have evolved together. So I am going to, my inspirational quote for the day is from Maya Angelou, who is one of my favorite writers and poets. And she said, I learned that people will forget what you said. People will not forget what you did. I learned that people will forget. I will try a third time. I'm going to blame it on Buffett. I learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I think one of the values at Toastmasters, especially this group, is that we have a sense of a family. And what we say here, what we do here, how we treat each other, it's really how we stay a community. I think it's not just the speeches, it's not just learning for ourselves, but it's because we're a community. So with that in mind, I will turn it back over to our Toastmaster today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Carla mentioned something that another reason we don't like Mondays is it symbolizes another day of a whole work week. It's just we mentally get ready for it. Another one is we're probably not prepared for Monday morning appointments. I had appointments this morning at 9 o'clock with my boss. I was prepared. I just plan ahead. So maybe people don't like Mondays aren't planners. I'm not sure. And next up is going to be our timer, John Vincent O'Connor. Are you available?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. I will be keeping track of time today, and I think another reason why Monday might be a bit blue for some of us is we've lost all of our time over the weekend. The weekend's gone. The time has gone by so fast, so it is very important to keep track of time. That's my role today. For our speeches, I will be flashing a green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6, and red at 7. And for our table topics, green at 1, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2. And lastly, for our evaluations today, green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. Thank you so much. Back to you, David.
Dear Mr. Timer. And next up is doing double duty is Carla, our grammarian. There you go.
Well, as your grammarian, I basically have 3 roles in this club. I share the word of the day, which I'll do in a moment. I am the all the different ways we try to delay our speech counter. And in addition, I will be looking for interesting uses of language, grammar, and I will be sharing and reporting on that at the end. With that in mind, something else I wanted to say about Monday is that many of us feel very ambivalent about Monday. Some of it depends on your attitude. In other words, I can wake up on Monday and I'm about to go do something really fun. And I have a great attitude, right? And it might be a great day at work. And I might be going to work to have my end of the year review. It might not be, I'm not as enthusiastic about it. So I have ambivalence about it, AMBIVALENCE. And that is our word of the day. And that is a state of having simultaneously conflicting reactions, beliefs, or feeling towards something. So as an example of it is, she had ambivalent feelings about her manager who is a creative thinker but has no people skills. And you can also say something, use it as an adverb. Ambivalently, that's another form of it. He spoke ambivalently about his military experience. And so you have ambivalence, ambivalent, which is actually the adjective, and ambivalently are the adverb. So I will use any form of that. And if you are ambivalent about using this in your speech today, I'm sure you can fit it in, whether it's table topics or something else. And I'm going to applaud whoever figures out doing it at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. And you might not know it by looking at me, but I am very ambivalent with Clemson. I used to hate Clemson because my older daughter went to Florida State, and about 10 years ago, they were undefeated. They went to Clemson and Clemson beat them. I hated it. But now, and the reason I won't be at the contest Monday is my daughter just got her dream job there. She's a study abroad advisor, and I'm moving her into Greenville next week. So that'll be, so now I am pro Clemson because they pay her bills. Now we have something a little different today. We're going to start with, I believe, Valencia Tim, who's going to show some Toastmaster winning clips, and this has to do with the upcoming contest. We can kind of understand it. So Valencia, take it away.
Hello, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I'm not sure if we have any guests in the room, but we hadn't heard that, so I'm thinking we do not. I am going to share some clips from winning Toastmaster speeches with you in hopes that if you're feeling ambivalent about participating in the contest, like I think I really want to do this, but I'm scared and I feel like I don't know if I like that. Maybe if you see some examples, it will make you say, yes, I would love to participate. We learned a new word last week, and that is to volunspire you to participate. That's where these clips come in. The first clip that I'm going to show you is from a winning table topics contest from last year. And the second is from the international speech contest from last year. I want you to also put your evaluator hat on as you're listening to this speech. Think about voice inflection, body movement, eye contact, all of the things that it takes to have a winning speech. And here we go. I'll also love a confirmation from you that you can see as well as hear once I hit that play button.
Contestant number 8, Natasha.
I hear and see it.
Your topic is, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? And again, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? Please welcome contestant number 8, Natasha Turnbull.
Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I make mistakes all the time. I'm going to make mistakes in this speech, but you're not going to know because I'm not going to tell you where the mistakes are. Why are we so afraid to make mistakes? It's because we're afraid that we will look bad in front of other people, that we'll feel embarrassed or look stupid or look like we're incapable of doing our job. So this means we're not willing to take risks. And that leads to an overall outcome of not achieving what we want to achieve. My personal motto is there's two types of people in this world. One, someone who doesn't ask questions because they don't want to look stupid. And two, people who ask questions because they're afraid of actually being stupid. So I am a notorious question asker. I will constantly ask questions that might seem a little bit embarrassing. I'm always the one asking the stupid questions. I'll put my hand up and say, why are we even doing this? And sometimes this can make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. But I push past that because to me, it's more important to actually know what you're doing rather than look that way. So I don't want anyone here to be afraid of looking bad or making mistakes anymore. No mai te hapa, embrace the mistakes, have a go, try it out. If you do something wrong, it doesn't matter because in the long run, you'll actually gain the knowledge and end up doing better than somebody that wasn't willing to take that risk and try and make a mistake. Contest chair.
Thank you.
All right, table topics winner. Now, as you could see from that clip, that was a district winner, and that's the top level for table topics that we compete in. Now you will see the international winner. This is Toastmasters winner over the whole country, or world rather, not the country. International winner, that's what international means. All right, let's share this clip of our 2022 Toastmasters World Champion of Public Speaking, Cyril Jr. Dim.
Cyril Jr. Dim. Ndini. Ndini Cyril Jr. Dim.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
I love that the Contest Chair sounds more Zimbabwean than I do. In Zimbabwe, we speak Shona. And in this beautiful language, we have a very important word that I'd like to share with you today. In Shona, we say Ndini. 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 Try it. Beautiful. It means, this is me. In my language, we have one word for this very important phrase. This is me. Ndini. This word is special for me now, but growing up, I wasn't always comfortable with who I was. You see, even though I grew up in Zimbabwe, my middle name was a long, winding, complicated Nigerian name, because my father, whom I never knew, was Nigerian. Now, yes, I may know a Nigerian prince or two, but back then, I didn't want a Nigerian name. I wanted a cool name, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Contest Chair. The other kids would make fun of me. They said my name was useful as a password. They called my middle name memorably forgettable. They said my middle name was a curse from black magic. I hated my name. Have you ever hated something about yourself? I would argue with Mom. I would be so mad at her. You gave me this name. You did this to me. And now everybody makes fun of me because I'm different. And my mom would look at me and say, but son, that name is who you are. It's special. You know, your middle name means that what God has done, no man can change. And I said, Mom, man has changed many things. Okay, look at chihuahuas. That used to be a wolf. I'm pretty sure I can change my name. And I did. As soon as I turned 18, I had my middle name removed from all my documents. It became my best kept secret. And I've not said that name once ever since. Before I knew it, it was 2018 and I'd landed in college, not in Zimbabwe, not even in Africa, but in the heart of Eastern Europe. It was clear who grew up in the snow and who grew up in the sand. I had never been this different before. The fly in the milk. It felt like I had taken one step forward and 10 steps backwards. But then I met Nick, another fly in the milk, but from Congo. He's got the African boy swag, you know, low, deep voice, speaks very slowly. He's like Mufasa, but in slow motion. We're in the library one day and Nick drops his ID. And like a good friend, I pick it up and proceed to read it out loud, including his full name, Nicholas Rolly Suini Bitumi. I say, dude, let's say your name 3 times and see what happens. But I knew exactly how those words must have felt. But Nick was ready. I have never met anybody with my name. It was a gift from my grandfather, and I like it. And we laughed, and we got kicked out of the library. But in my heart, I was 18 again, seeing in Nick what I didn't have for myself: acceptance. And for the first time, I started looking around and I realized we're all different. Even Nick was different. But he wasn't just different. He was special because he accepted himself. And for the first time in a long time, I wanted to accept myself too. I looked myself in the mirror and said, Ndini, this is me. I know that many of you out there at some point in your life have felt uncomfortable being who you are. Maybe it was your name. Maybe it was the family you came from. Maybe it was the school you went to. Maybe you were tall. Maybe you were short. Maybe you have wrinkles, freckles. Maybe you have scars. I know that some of you out there know what it is to be different. And even if you don't feel it, I'm sure you know somebody who does. You are beautifully you. The only you. And no man can change that. So let me invite you to make this very important word a part of your language. Ndini. This is me. For my friends here in Nashville and the thousands watching from home, say it with me. This is me. Ndini. Beautiful. I haven't had the courage to officially reclaim my name. But here, today, I think we can make a step in the right direction. I was born Cyril Jr. Uche Chukwumere Dim. And this is me. Ndini.
Thank you. Well, I'm saying thank you, and I didn't do the speech, but thank you for letting me share. I pray that it does vol inspire you. Back to our Toastmaster of the day, David Jones.
Thank you, Toastmaster Valencia. And I did not realize, because I don't know who remembers, but we do have a guest. And if you wanted to introduce yourself, say how you heard about us. And your thoughts.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andy Kaufman. I was here 2 weeks ago prior to the holiday. Would love the opportunity to consider membership. So I'm very thrilled to be back for a second go at this. And I just found you online. I knew I've definitely been familiar with Toastmasters over the years. And, you know, when it came to finding a location was the first thing in my mind. So here we are. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Andy. And again, as I mentioned earlier, our sister club is part of this Queen City. We are in Plaza Midwood. We meet on Tuesday nights at 6:30. So if you join this club, you're a member of 2 clubs, you get to speak twice a week. First up all. And I want to read Alice Ann. We have a speaker, and I know she posts her information here. Alice Ann is going to be our speaker tonight, and Dr. Alice Ann Crump has been a Toastmaster for 4 years. Hard to believe it, you know her backstory. She's been a member of Southpark Toastmasters for 3 years. She currently serves as Division Director for Division C and District 103, which is the Chicago area. She has completed all 11 pathways twice. She is a 2-time distinguished Toastmaster. She is diligently working on being a better communicator. Today, she will be delivering a speech from the Motivational Strategy Pathways 3 Project Emotional Intelligence. Her speech, Mr. Timer, is 5 to 7 minutes. And the title is Personal Accountability Journal. Please welcome Dr. Alice Ann Crump.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever taken personal accountability for anything you have done? I have. I'm learning that I must take personal accountability every single day. I'm in the process of writing a book. I started this book a couple of years ago, and I didn't take personal accountability. So I didn't finish it. But I am working on finishing it. And my target date is April 1st. And I'm going to ask all of you to help me be accountable. Give me a text every once in a while. Have the book coming. I will remember I have to work on it. I'm going to thank you in advance for helping me stay accountable. In my personal accountability journal, the main focus is the 4 questions that God had asked man in the beginning of time. Where are you? Who told you? Did you? And what did you do? I'm finding out if I am personal with my own health, personal with my mental health, I can take accountability for those mood swings and those times that I'm in dark places or in fearful places or in angry places or in dark places. Have you ever been in any of those places? I have. When I write in this personal accountability journal, I'm taking personal accountability for how I feel at any given moment. I thought about those 4 questions. How would they help me? So every day, I write in the journal, Alice Ann, where are you? Since my husband passed, I've been in some dark places. I've been in some places that wasn't so good. And I was able to express the place that I was in. After I wrote down all that I was feeling about being in that place, the next question made me stand up straight, sit up straight, and be real honest. Who told me I was in that place? Or what was the indicator that I was in that place? What was the circumstances around me coming to the realization what place I was in? Was it because I believed the lie in that original story of those particular questions God has asked? Who told you that you was naked? That indicated to me who I'm listening to. What voices am I hearing? What was the indicator? The next question is, did you? And I thought, did I do something to put myself in this mode, in this place? Was it my fault? But sometimes it's not. But at least I know if it was something I've done. So if it's something I've done, I can work on not being in that place again, based on what I've done. The last question, what is this thou hast done? That's when I have to explain the whole thing. Okay, I'm in this place because I did this, or that. Some other questions came out of that. Did I throw somebody under the bus? Blame somebody else because I'm in this place? What was I hiding? What was I trying to cover up? If I was trying to cover up something. My husband's been gone for the last 4 months. And I found the accountability journal helpful for me. And I thought maybe it might be helpful for someone else. I'm going to finish the book. It's going to just be a journal that's going to ask those questions. Where are you? Who told you? Did you? And what is this thou hast done? Some other questions might come under that. Like, what's wrong with your face? Why are you pouting? What are you covering up? What are you hiding? Did you throw somebody under the bus? Blame somebody else? There's going to be several other questions that help you, that help me be accountable. And it's called a personal accountability journal because it's personal. It's about me. And when you get the journal, it'll be about you. Coming soon in a bookstore near you or Amazon, whichever comes first. Personal accountability journal. Back to you, Mr. Supplement.
Next up is the fun part of our meeting. Not that it's not all fun, but table topics, impromptu speaking. We're going to have Toastmaster Debbie come up and ask us a few questions. Everybody get ready to participate. Thank you. There I am.
A little bit more of that.
I don't want to be up there. Go where?
Towards the computer.
All right.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And table topics is sometimes called the fun part of the meeting. And just a reminder that it is a time where you take an impromptu question and you speak for only 1 to 2 minutes. And I know we have a contest coming up, and I am going to ask, I think Jennifer Darko is with us today, and some of you know her from being a member of our club, and I believe she has agreed to do this. I'm going to be a contest person for table topics. Neither one of us has ever done this before, and we're doing it for the experience. So I invite Allison and Andy And Carla's thinking about it to possibly join in. And the more people we have, the more fun it's gonna be. And who knows, maybe you could be like the world leader of table topics. That's a big goal, right? But anyway, we'll have a good time doing it, and we'll just see what happens. But as I was getting ready for today, I kind of looked up some of the possibilities that, how do you do table topics? Are there any possibilities that help a person to do the best job that they can for a table topic? And some of the info I found said, don't panic, just get into it and, relax. It'll come to you. Another suggestion they had was to give it time. If you're somebody that has to walk up to the podium, walk real slowly while you think and collect your thoughts. If there's a theme, then, think about that theme and some possibilities that might come up. So give it time, go with some of your first ideas, because if you wait, you might not, another idea, a better idea might not come up. And then the last thing is know when to quit. So you've got your 1 to 2 minutes, and sometimes I know it can feel like an eternity, but it is a short time period. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask for some volunteers, either in person or on Zoom, to participate in table topics. And the questions are all related to our our emotions about Monday. And I am like semi-retired, but I don't think that feeling about Monday ever leaves. It just doesn't leave us. I think it's kind of embedded in our brains. But I remember what Mondays for me, I knew stress was coming, and it was that feeling of anticipating stress and the crunch time and the stress that would come with it. And to me, that did not feel good, but I knew that was just part of the work that I did. So do we have a volunteer? Andy? Awesome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. I think we've got it set up, yes, so that
I
we
think I can see myself here. Great.
All right, so we're
Thank you.
talking 1 to 2 minutes, and John is going to have the timer, and you're gonna see that up there. And he's in the middle square.
Okay, great.
All right,
Ready whenever. So,
find a good one for you, so.
oh, you're gonna find one for me.
Yeah, I've got one for you. I've got like 6. If you could redesign Mondays so that everyone would not dislike them so much, how would you do that? What would a Monday look like if you had the power to redesign it and help people to love Mondays?
That's a fantastic question. Thank you, Debbie, for asking it. I used to hate Mondays as well. I think for me, loving or hating Mondays is oftentimes dictated by the work that we do. If we are doing work that we find valuable and life-giving, that can absolutely change our outlook on Mondays. I was at a white Christmas, I think is what they call it, where you do the gift exchange and you don't know who's giving you what gift, and there's a $20 limit and everyone throws money into these gifts, and then you draw straws and you end up getting a gift. And I got a pair of socks that said, "I hate Mondays." And I always felt really weird wearing them. Was it because they were blue argyle? No, not necessarily. I just felt like that would be inappropriate to show up in the workplace with an "I hate Monday" sock on. So they mostly collect dust in my sock drawer. But up until recently, I was not a fan of Mondays until I decided to go out on my own professionally. And today is Monday, and I could not be more thrilled. I've got some exciting meetings lined up this afternoon. I'm working with clients to talk about their finances, to help them move forward and eliminate roadblocks in their life, and just live with purpose and live with meaning. And so when I examine my own life, that I think is the way to embrace Mondays in a positive way. So I hope that we can collectively work towards long-term goals of doing work that we find meaningful, doing work that we find valuable, that hopefully aligns with our pocketbook and paycheck desires. But ultimately, I think that is the key to loving Mondays. Thank you, everyone.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Andy talks about being his own boss, and maybe that's a big part of what makes people happy is leading their own lives and, you know, creating their own visions for their future and helping others at the same time. So great job. All right, we need another volunteer, please. Anybody on Zoom? Oh, okay. Allison. Allison is one of our new members, so good to see you again. How long ago was it that you were a member of Toastmasters?
It would have been in 2019.
So it was a few years back, but not that long ago.
No.
So, all right, all right. For you, is it worth thinking about the upcoming Monday versus actually living through the Monday?
I think for everyone, the thought of a future for most people can provide a lot of anxiety. To Andy's point, I think we can get excited about Mondays if we are looking at it as a way to grow, as a way to serve, as a way to have our mission. However, if you have the approach of Monday is going to be horrible, it's going to be stressful, that's going to be the state that you're in. We have to be very cautious of what is going on in our mind and the thoughts that we are telling ourselves. If you are telling yourself it's going to be a bad day, guess what? It's most likely going to be a bad day because you are looking for that. Perception is really what your reality is. You can have two people in the exact same position and the approach is going to be very different. I look at the fact when my job was eliminated, people will come to me afterwards and be like, I'm so sorry, this is, you know, and because maybe that would have been their reality. My reality was, this was actually a fresh start for me. This gave me the ability to step back, to actually figure out what I wanted to do. It gave me the ability to actually have severance and get paid while I had the time off, which if I had just quit, that wouldn't have actually been something that would have been happening. I think though, when we are talking about Mondays in the sense of this anxiety producing event, which is what many of us do, I do think it is the perception and the thought of it versus actually being in it. Because if you're actually in it, you're going to find moments of your day that are actually not that bad. And any forward type of thinking in a negative manner is really going to provide those anxious thoughts, because majority of what we think is going to happen actually never actually does happen. And if you think it's going to happen, the likelihood that it will is actually going to be increasing because we are going to look for ways for our thoughts to be true. Versus if I go into the week saying Monday is going to be a great day, it's going to set me up for success, I'm going to look for ways that Monday is actually going to set me up for success. To conclude here, I do think if we're looking at Monday in a negative way, I do think the anxiety and the thoughts before it are actually going to be much worse than actually being in it. However, if we are approaching Monday in a very positive way, then I think hopefully our day is actually going to follow our thoughts, because we are going to be looking for opportunities that are going to help us get to where we really want to go.
Very, very thoughtful. And our timer lost his connection. So I don't know if that felt like
It felt long.
I don't know if it felt like a long 2
It felt
minutes.
like
It might
long.
have- You probably exceeded it, which is
Yeah.
awesome, but that was really thoughtful and good use of gestures and just, you know, good pacing, many good things. I see two possible contest people right in our audience. All right. Thank you. Anybody, Thela, would you be willing to do what? Would you be willing to do a table topic for us?
Me, Tahila?
Yeah,
Yes,
is that- yes. Okay, great. John, do you have your connection back? Or Jamil, you're gonna do it, the timing? Okay. All right, well, if Monday is often our least favorite day of the week, and that's true for probably like 53% of the people out there, what is your favorite day of the week?
That's a really great question. My favorite day of the week is Saturday. And the reason why Saturday is my favorite day of the week is because I'm off on Fridays. So it gives me a double weekend. And then Sunday is sort of the day that I use to get ready for Monday, which I also don't hate. So it's a really great setup for me. And the reason why, aside from being the second day of my long weekend, the reason why I love Saturdays is because I don't do any work on Saturdays. It's time that I really spend with family. It's time that I spend with friends. It's time that I spend resting because I work really hard the 4 days of the week that I do work. So having that additional day and having that weekend time to really just rest, refresh, reset, and spend time with my loved ones is incredibly important to me. And so for folks who maybe don't have a 4-day work week or who also hate Mondays, I would recommend taking at least one day out of the week if possible and making that time for themselves where you don't focus on work and don't focus on anything that you don't absolutely have to do, and really make that a day for self-care, for spending time with friends and families, and sleeping, because sleep is very, very important. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Sounds like you do have a great schedule that works for you, and that's so important in the workplace as well. So you reminded us of that. So excellent. We need another volunteer, please. Jennifer said she would. Okay. No?
Yeah, that's okay.
We're running out of time.
We are.
Okay.
Oh, we out of time?
We got time for you.
Jennifer, come
We got
on.
time for you.
I was acting like we only had all afternoon. Sorry. Jennifer, it's great to see you in person. Thank you. All right. All right, your coworker comes in on a Monday and says, I love the beginning of the week. It's like an opportunity to start a whole new life. You say what? Are you kidding?
Mr. Toastmaster, friends, guests. Yeah, when I was working, Monday was one of the worst days. And someone come in and say, because most of the people that comes in on Monday, they don't even have a smile on their face or anything. And I was, but he had the right attitude for it. If only I had thought about that years ago, I probably would have tried to adjust to my Mondays. But being retired since 2010, I retired. So I don't have any Mondays. I'm lucky if I remember what day it is. And most of all, the funniest thing about it, when someone called me and I said, well, I'm not gonna do too much today. This is me time. But I remember every day, but now being retired, every day's a me time. But the most important thing in life is to live and to enjoy each day, which is kind of hard for many of us. And I had to learn that later in life, how important it is. It doesn't matter what day it is. You're lucky to be alive. I decided to do some volunteer work on the weekend, some weekends at Dove Nest. And then it was a rescue mission for women. So after someone asked me to join. I said, okay, I'll go. But I learned something, how important it is to live your life. When I listen to those stories of those ladies, some of them have nowhere to go. they were abused mentally. You know, it made, and the things that they went through, I said, how could anyone go through such things like that? But I look at them and I said to you, I said, but you made it, you know, and that was what's so important. So when I left out of there, after listening to so many problems, all I could do is get in my car and say, thank you. Learn to live each day that the Lord gives you, because it's not promised to you. I remember I had congested heart failure on a Monday. I was on my way to work and I couldn't breathe. And luckily, my son was home on vacation from school. And the only thing I could say to him when he opened the door was, call 911. I was in the hospital for 40 days. But my doctor told me when I got well and better and everything, I went to his office, he said, Jennifer, learn to let your yes be yes and your no is no. I never knew how to do that. I always wanted things I didn't want to do. I just said, oh, I'll go ahead and do it. And I really didn't want to do it. All I was doing is putting stress on myself. But you know one thing about being retired? I love life. I like what it gives, and I like what I receive with it. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for volunteering to answer some questions about Mondays, and I'm gonna turn it back over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Deb. With that, we'll move it into our general evaluation stage. And with that, we have Sonia Pons coming to us, I believe, from Virginia or Maryland. Sonia?
Hi, family. I'm calling in from Maryland, and I don't want anyone in this room to be ambivalent about the Toastmaster experience. Every speech, I guess, just spoken, should have a written evaluation, but we are running short on time. So I'm going to ask every member of Southpark Toastmaster to send Dr. Alice Ann an email to give her feedback on her speech. With that said, I want to call up I'm the general evaluator, call up our grammarian to give us a report on our word usage as well as the icon report.
Thank you very much, Sonia. David, you were ambivalent. You did it. Sonia, you did it. I did not hear from anybody else. Maybe else used the word ambivalent. Oh, and thank you. Valencia used the word ambivalent. And Jamil, you're claiming you did? I couldn't see through. All right. I'm not going to go in a great amount of detail. There were ahs and ums and ohs, but there were knows and there were likes. If you want to know your individual count, let me know. But since we're short on time, I'm not going to do that. What I will tell you is that I love how, Jennifer, you ended. Said, learn to let your yeses be yes and your no be no. I think that's very hard to do when you're in your career and you're working and got children and all that, to take that time for yourself and to recover. Also found it interesting, Jennifer, that you had a hard event on Monday. I love, I'm not going to say Gila. Am I close?
Tehila, yep.
Gila. I love that you said you do not work on Saturday. You take that day for yourself, that you have that 4-day work week, and so you can do that. And I think that's wonderful. I have a couple other.
This is wrong phone.
Let's see, trying to read what it said. I'm going to let it go because I can't read my own handwriting at this point. I do want to say that attitude, several of you talked about attitude. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can have good or bad attitude on any of those days. I know from perspective, it's harder when I was working to understand that, but I surely understand it now. And I am going to go back in the workforce, and I plan on not worrying about Mondays. I'm just treat every day I'm not going to be ambivalent about it. I'm going to treat every day as if it's a great day. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Now we will go to John for the timers report. John.
Thank you, Sonia. For Dr. Alassane, came in at 6 minutes and 2 seconds. My sincere apologies to Andy and Alison, our guests today. My computer completely froze up when I was timing you, but safe to say you came in on time and you were both excellent. Thank you very much. Last but not least, I have, let me see, Tahila at 1 minute and 24 seconds and Jennifer at 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Just keeping that time frame for table topics. However, it was such a great, inspiring story. So I think you can absolutely be forgiven for that today. Thank you so much. And back to you, Sonia.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. Now I will give my very quick assessment of the meeting. We had the Zoom link on time. We had people on time at the library. Things were set up as people walked in and they were greeted. What I love about this club, you have a theme and we run with the theme, and it can be different throughout our meetings, but they're fun and they're engaged and they allow us to get to know one another. What I also love about this club, we engage our visitors. We ask our visitors to participate in the Toastmasters experience. And today they learned about what it means to put on a contest in Toastmasters. So when they come back next week and we're doing our contest, they're not like, what's going on here? They have an understanding of it. You are totally carrying the Toastmasters brand to those who are members and who are not. I absolutely appreciate that. Again, for those of you who want to give feedback to Dr. Alassane and you are a member of Southpark Toastmaster, you can do that. You can email her within the portal of Free Toast Host. I know she put the email in the chat for those of us who are on Zoom, but if you are not on Zoom right now and you are a member of Southpark Toastmaster, you can go into Free Toast Host, pull up her email and send her an evaluation today, some feedback and some love. With that said, spot on. I enjoy coming to this meeting. I block it on my calendar. I tell my boss, nope, I got a meeting at 12 o'clock on Mondays. And I love it because I love each and every one of you. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our Toastmaster today. Fantastic job. Love it.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And before I hand it over to the president, I would just like to remind you, well, there's 3 dates, mostly for the officer. Area contest is February 16th, Thursday. Division contest will be March 23rd, also a Thursday at 6:30. And then finally, the district contest is May 5th and 6th here in Charlotte, this Nesta. It will be hybrid, but try to make it in person if you can. And with that, I'll turn it over to our club president, Jamil.
Great. Y'all give David a hand as he takes his seat. That's one of the things that I love about Toastmasters is the clap during the transitions. It does a couple things. It helps with the transition. It helps to kind of fill that time as you're clapping your hands, but it's also a statement of encouragement. And with it being a Monday, some people love it, some people hate it. Who couldn't use another gesture of encouragement, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? It's just acknowledging that person. So we definitely want to do that. And we have 2 different forms of it. If you're in person, you actually physically clap your hands. And if you're on Zoom or Teams or hybrid on the camera, y'all know what I mean. You can do the jazz hands, which is also clapping in sign language. So just want to give a little added context on why are these people clapping? Do they really love each other that much? Well, yes, it's that too. We love each other that much too. So that's what the hand clap is about. And with it being 12:59, I just want to give one last reminder that our club contest is next week. If you're interested in participating as a contestant or as a volunteer, feel free to reach out to myself or any one of the officers there in the room, and we will be glad to get you up and running. So with that, I will turn it back over to you. And don't have an ambivalent week. Have a great week. Decide how your emotions are going to be. All right. Y'all have a good week.
Before we go,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
wait. Go ahead. I'll see you.
I was putting up fingers and before we go, I just wanted to let our new members, Tahila and Allison, know that I did put you into our Toast Host website, the Southpark Toastmasters. You should get an email from there to sign up for speeches, as well as what Sonia was letting you know about giving feedback to Dr. Alassane. You have access to that just wanted to get that out there quickly before we ended.
Thank you. I just saw it.
Great. Thanks, Valencia. Yes, that way you guys can jump right in and volunteer for different roles and Free Toast hosts. Anytime you want to be a timer, give a speech, do a table topics, that's also for Free Toast hosts. But any other last or final announcements before we conclude the call? Going once, going twice. Sold to the group saying nothing. All right, y'all have a great week. Talk to y'all later.
Have an amazing day, fam. We'll see you soon. Bye.